Ephemeris is a turn-based space strategy game with full 3D, real-time and physically simulated battles. In this video, we'll be looking at some aspects of the combat system of Ephemeris. All ships in the combat belong to a squadron, and the whole squadron is moved as a single unit. The units are moved in traditional real-time strategy or real-time tactics fashion. As the map is 3D, squadrons can also be moved in the up axis. In practice, in the current version, this is done by holding the right mouse button to choose horizontal location, then releasing the right mouse button to choose the vertical position and right-clicking again. Left click at any time cancels the move command. Commands can also be queued. Releasing the right mouse button on an enemy ship chooses a target for a squadron. You can also set the radius to set more than one target. The selected squadron or squadrons then attacks all of the ordered targets. Other parameters that affect how the squadron engages their targets include formation, main weapon class, combat mode and engage mode. In this video we'll be looking at combat mode option. But before that, let's check the health and damage system of ships, and also fleeing of squadrons. Ships have three parameters that describe their condition: hull, shield and armor. Hull and shield act like hit points. When shields take enough damage, they are depleted. When the hull takes enough damage, the ship is destroyed. Armor reduces damage per each shot. Generally, weapons that deliver a big amount of damage per shot works better against armor than many small weapons with similar total damage per second. But if a ship is armorless, many small weapons may be more effective at bringing it down. Damaging the ship also damages its armor, which increases the likelihood of bypassing it with subsequent shots. Beam weapons have a unique mechanic against armors, where an uninterrupted continuous shot counts as a one hit, meaning they slowly bore through armor. When a ship in a squadron receives damage or is destroyed, the squadron receives moral damage. If there is too much moral damage, the squadron will flee. When a squadron flees, they divert power from weapons to drive, meaning that they can't shoot but will accelerate to higher speeds to escape. The combat mode for a squadron is either aggressive or evasive. Aggressive mode is used to maximize the damage output of a squadron. Squadron with aggressive combat mode will prioritize to be at the good shooting position in their formation, so they can shoot at the enemy as much as possible. This leaves them vulnerable against incoming fire. In evasive mode, the ships in the squadron will make evasive maneuvers while shooting at their targets. This may move them out of range at times, and even if they are in shooting range, they might be maneuvering while their weapons would be ready to shoot. This means that their damage output will be a bit lower than with stationary mode, but their evasive movements may help them avoid incoming fire. How much the evasions help depends on their agility, speed of the incoming projectiles, and the agility of the shooter. When you are fighting ships that are considerably less agile than your ships, or have weapons that shoot slow projectiles, it is a good idea to employ evasive tactics. On the other hand, if the enemy ships are roughly as agile as you, or they have small fast-turning turrets and they use beam weapons, evasive maneuvers won't be as effective. You might lose shooting time doing unnecessary movements while gaining nothing. At least that's the theory. But let's look at the situation in practice. Here we have 16 fighters against 4 frigates. And at first, let's use the aggressive mode. As you can see, the fighters stay in one place just shooting at the enemy. They aren't missing any shots, but neither are they evading any. The battle is quickly over because the fighters flee after taking too much damage. Aggressive mode is better to be used with big ships against smaller targets. Now let's look at the same scenario, but let's use evasive mode. As you can see, the fighters don't clump up. Instead, they keep flying around swarming the frigates. They don't shoot as much and they're missing some shots, but they're evading lots of the frigates' shots. The battle takes a bit more time, but in the end the fighters are able to destroy 3 frigates. And then the last one starts to flee, and the battle is over. If every squadron from either side is fleeing or destroyed, that side loses the combat. This means you don't necessarily have to destroy the opposing army totally, just drive them away. What you can do to prevent fleeing is to have bigger squadrons. A squadron with more ships will need numerically more casualties to start fleeing. On the other hand, in some situations it may be better to split your squadron into multiple squadrons to give them different orders. In Ephemeris you can split and merge squadrons during the combat. But let's look at that along with the rest of the squadron settings in the next video. Thanks for watching. Please support Ephemeris crowdfunding at Indiegogo, wishlist at Steam and subscribe. If you can't back us at Indiegogo, please share the word of the campaign and of the game to everyone who might be interested. Thank you and see you in the next video. Bye.